sort of. Okay, so yeah, we're going to be cooking some sweet potato hash today. We're going to be also including in a couple of eggs with it as well, just like some over medium eggs. And you know, I could probably move this just a tad that way. Anyway, you just confirmed that Matt Stream, the occultist stun hits the first 3 rows. You thought it was only the front 2. No. I know it hits the front 3 rows. What I do know is that you can only use it from the front 2 rows. But I know it hits the front 3 rows. Yeah, I already knew that. So things we're going to be using today. Oh, that's right. I almost forgot. I got my secret hash ingredient. I'll show you that later. Okay. So we got a sweet potato. We have a sweet onion. You could use any kind of an onion for this recipe, really. Probably wouldn't use a red onion, but you could use a Spanish onion, a white onion, if you wanted like a little bit more of a kick out of your onion. We're going to be using. I always use like some kind of a sausage with this hash recipe. I happen to have some jalapeno cheddar sausages. It's basically like you could use hot dogs. You could use any kind, I mean, really, but I just always like basically whatever sausage happens to be on sale. Like andouille sausage is pretty good too. Something spicy is always kind of nice. But just whatever's on sale is what I usually happen to get for when I'm doing this. And then, like I said, we're also going to be doing a couple of eggs, and those are going to be basically being done afterwards. So I got a couple of eggs as well. The secret hash ingredients: the food from a food cart. No, my secret hash ingredient. I guess we'll just reveal it right now. I have this peppercorn medley pepper grinder that one of my coworkers at the restaurant I used to manage got this for me, and I mean, it's not like it's like really absolutely rare or anything like that. You can just go to the store and get one, but it's really good. It has like white peppercorns, red peppercorns, black peppercorns, and like some allspice and stuff, and it really just kind of like brightens up. He uses that when he makes steak. It really goes well with meats, and it really like brightens up the hash. So I really highly would recommend. Just not only like this peppercorn medley is like really great, especially for this, but like, you know, just checking out something. Time would go okay in this as well, but whatever. Like, we're just going to be making it with that peppercorn medley and then just some straight black pepper and then salt, and that's what we're going to be making today. What's up, Pandemonium? How's your Wednesday going? Alright, so we're going to start off by getting this sweet potato chopped up. That's going to be going in the pan first. And sweet potatoes, like compared to like a normal potato, don't really need to cook that long. They do, like, if you cook them for too long, they'll go really mushy, and they're not super duper pleasant. So they don't really need to, like, if I was doing this with a normal like potato, then I'd probably cook it for several minutes before putting in the onion, but we don't need to do that today. So let's get started here. Like with sweet potatoes, they vary wildly with shape and size. Like this one's pretty small compared to like a lot of sweet potatoes that I've seen, but they are very awkwardly shaped and quite frequently don't have flat surfaces. This one happens to have a pretty nice flat surface, which is kind of rare, but I'm just gonna chop off these ends here. They don't look very good. It's got a little plastic bag. What's up, Celev? Another cooking stream indeed. What's up, Zilth? How's your Wednesday going? Obviously Celev as well, if I didn't say that. Just gonna be kind of just checking to see if there's any like kind of not very good looking spots on the sweet potato here, but it's looking pretty good. Sweet potatoes are pretty like tough, I guess. Like they're kind of almost like a carrot as far as like when you're cutting through it goes. So it's like I'm gonna need to use my hand to help cut through this, and you can like hear it kind of crackling. Like they're pretty difficult to chop through, but they are in fact pretty orange on the inside. Yes, an orange potato. So we're gonna be chopping these into like kind of small bits. If you wanted to cube it, like if you really wanted to make it absolutely perfect cube, you're gonna like kind of waste a bit of potato. I mean, not really waste it, but I mean it's gonna take a while, and like you need to get the potato square and then chop it up from there. But we're not gonna be doing that. Like we're just gonna be kind of chopping into small bits. So like I'm gonna be basically cutting it into like kind of strips here, like you can see, and then we're gonna take that and we're going to chop it the other direction, and then get some kind of little like fry shaped things, like little mini fry type things. A potato. What the hell is that? A carrot? A carrot? A carrado? Carrot potato. All right, so we're gonna get some of these size bits here, like you can see. Like we just want them pretty close in size. Like they don't have to be perfect, but you know, if we end up with some pieces that end up kind of being mushy because they were cut a little smaller, or if we end up with some pieces that are kind of big, you know, they're going to be kind of a little bit more tough. So we're going to do the same thing with the other half of this potato. I don't know if I'm going to use this whole potato. I could probably use the whole potato, I guess. Alright. Let's chopping this up. Remember, just like I said before, just kind of keeping my tips of my fingers away from the knife blade. Actually using like my knuckles as like a guide, chopping the thing. No peeling? No, I never peel sweet potatoes. I never peel any kind of potatoes. I really like the skin on them, but I guess you could if you didn't really enjoy them. But I don't know. I think they taste fine, and so I never bother. I don't really. But the only thing I'll peel is like a carrot. Like that's about it. I'm not going to be too concerned. That's a lot of sweet potato. I'm not sure if I'm going to use all of it. Regardless of whether I do or not, I'm going to get it up and off the cutting board here and get it into the container. Alright, we'll get this up here. And you can see like on the knife, like it kind of does get a bit of like starch on the knife, so we'll just kind of wipe that off. I got a rag here. Yeah, that should be good. Now we're not, like I said, like this doesn't really take a whole lot of time, right? Before we're gonna throw the onion and even the sausage in after that. So I'm not gonna just like get this cooking yet until after I get the onion chopped up. I want to get all my stuff ready to go. Including the sausage, like before I actually start cooking in the pan, because otherwise I'm just like, especially when streaming but at home too, you know, you want to get all the stuff ready to go, because something like can distract you, and then you're like, oh shit, now I gotta chop an onion really fast, and then you're like rushing and you end up cutting yourself, and you know, it's not gonna be good. So it's always good to get everything done ahead of time. So again, same as the last onion we chopped last time. This onion's kind of a little mushy on one side, but it's alright. We're going to chop both the ends off here. Okay. And I'm just going to give a little score on the side of the onion here, so that way I can more easily peel off the skin. What's the difference between a potato and a sweet potato? I mean, sweet potatoes are a lot sweeter. Potatoes, I don't really know like how to explain that. Like they're just completely different. That's like asking like they're both root vegetables. It's like asking like what the difference between a potato and a carrot is. I don't know. Like they just taste different. I'm just gonna go ahead and wedge out this top core thing. Normally I wouldn't have done that, but whatever. I'm just gonna chop it in half, and then we'll get this. Just kind of a rough chop on the onion is all we need. We don't need it to be like super fine. the color, and then it's sweet. Yeah, it's a lot sweeter than a normal potato, and like, and it's weird because like so many times it's like sweet potato is almost like considered like a dessert, and but like by itself it's actually really nice, and then but then like you add like brown sugar or something like that to it, and like all like really sweeten up the sweet potato. I'm like, it doesn't really need it. Like I really like using it in these kind of more hearty dishes. It doesn't have to be like super like a super desserty kind of a thing. And like especially with the eggs that I'm going to be doing afterwards, it's like a really like one of my favorite breakfasts to have. Billy cooking fail star? Oh no, my God! Wipe off the knife. And like I said, we're just going to do a rough chop here. I'm not going to do a super fine chop. Same cut as before. I'm like kind of angling the knife so I'm not chopping through the back part of it here. We're just chopping kind of through the front. So it's like when my knife is going down, it's like it's actually like the back part of it's not actually in. Like if you wanted to, like there's some that'll have you like chop like 3/4 of the way through and just the whole way through, like but not cut this last back part. I don't really like doing that. I think it's a little bit more dangerous. And I'll do one horizontal slice here, and we'll just, like I said, pretty big chunks here. And then again with the last kind of part of that, like instead of trying to chop it down while it's standing straight up like the rest of it, let it go flat down, and then we'll finish chopping it like that. And then I can just push that onion down and then maybe go over that one more time just to make sure I don't have any like absurdly huge chunks. But that's plenty good. And I'll get this other half chopped up, and we'll get that in a little container too, just to make sure we get it out of the way. Well, anytime we end up goofing up with the cooking stream or anything in any game, right, we're just going to go ahead and blame Failstar. So anytime anything goes wrong, it's like we're already cooking with Failstar, but you know, like in the heart. That's like what it is. Get this finished up. Alright, looks pretty good there. We're going to get this in a little container here. And we're definitely not going to be using anywhere as near this entire onion, but that's okay. It's kind of nice, like, especially like I said, with like varying sizes of sweet potatoes. When in doubt, blame Failstar. That's right. You can quote me on that one. Is like if you end up, especially like I said, if you chop up like a really big one, you know, you get it in a container, and the next time you go to cook yourself some breakfast or whatever you're cooking, you're just going to have like this ready to go. So then you don't have to chop it. You don't even have to get the cutting board dirty. You already have a thing with sweet potatoes and a thing with onions already chopped up, and you just got to oil the pan and get it rocking and rolling, which is pretty nice. Get this put in there. Alright. Alright, we'll take this, just wipe this a little bit, not that it really needs it. It's not, wasn't like a soaking wet onion. Kind of one of the things with, a little dark bit in there. Kind of one of the things with onions is like, you know, a lot of people kind of complain about onions kind of bothering, you know, they kind of like burn your eyes. Like, there's a couple of things. Like, kind of one of the things is just like, isn't really so much about like figuring out how to not get your eyes to water when you're chopping onions. It's kind of more about like not minding that the fucking onions are bothering your eyes a little bit, but also like having a sharp knife goes a really long way. Yeah, Cook Serve Delicious, it got a huge overhaul, Bobby. Welcome to Cook Serve Delicious 3.0. We're going to get this pan rocking here. We're going to get this going hot, and then I'll get that sausage chopped up. But it's going to take just a minute to get this up to temperature. Just going to put this on medium-high heat. And I'll grab the sausage. What's up, Olena? Welcome back. How's it going today? So like I said, this is just like a jalapeno cheddar sausage, so you could use whatever ones you want. Like I said, I generally just get whatever is on sale. What's up, Blib? How's it going? I could cut this in half, and then, yeah, we'll cut it in half, and then we'll chop it into bits. The sausage is like it's already like a pre-cooked sausage, right? So we're not gonna be like having to throw it in and make sure that it's cooked through and stuff because it's already cooked. So that's gonna go in last. And once our pan gets up to temperature here, we're gonna be using a little bit of peanut oil as always. And at the beginning, I'm gonna not use a whole terrible lot of peanut oil. But then, after we get the onions in and after we get some color on both of those, I'm going to add a little bit more. Like if you just go light on the oil, then the sweet potatoes, I find, generally tend to come out like a little bit hard. Like they're just kind of like a hard kind of potato. But like adding a little bit of oil in really softens them up and makes them a little bit more pleasant. I mean, like you can eat a sweet potato raw. It's not going to make you sick. But I just like them to be like a little bit more kind of tender. You're watching before you actually go get food might not have been the best idea. Oh no, Kuno. That's all right. We're gonna force you to buy certain things from the store, and those certain things are sweet potatoes and onions. So. If we wanted to, I could take some water and just like. You can kind of like hear it sizzle on the pan, but it's starting to get pretty hot. It's not quite where I want it yet. Oh wait, just another second. But you could do like just about anything in I mean, all hash really is like meat and potatoes, but like I'm doing onions with it. This is just generally what I make for myself, and but like a lot of time, like if I wanted to get more fancy, I could use like a red bell pepper. Those are really fantastic. Or if you like green peppers, that's absolutely fantastic. What's the yellow stuff in the sausage? They're cheddar jalapeno sausages. So there's like a little bit of cheese in it. Yeah. What's up, Wax? How's your Wednesday going? So this is going to be plenty hot for us now. We're going to go ahead and, like I said, just a little bit of just maybe like a tablespoon of peanut oil there. And I don't think I'm going to use all this. Yeah, I'm just going to use about like a little bit more than half of the sweet potatoes. I'm going to put the rest over there. And then we're just going to be looking, I'm going to get a little bit of salt in there for right now. We'll add a little bit of pepper in there later. Just using some kosher salt, just like a big pinch. We're going to be waiting for these to just get a little bit of color on them, and then we're going to throw the onions right in. Like I said, sweet potatoes don't really take a whole lot of, time to cook at all, especially compared to like a normal potato. Like if it was a normal potato, I'd be cooking this for like a few minutes, but we're only going to need a couple of minutes. Good, you were wondering why peanut instead of canola oil? Peanut or canola oil are both like high smoking temperature like oils, so either one would work fine. I just like use peanut oil. It's not really like a huge deal, but I just happen to prefer peanut oil. I don't think there's any really good reason, but I've used canola oil too. It's another fine one to use. Okay, we're going to be getting this kind of mixed up in the pan here, and just like I can't remember if we were doing it before with the onions last time with the spaghetti, but we're going to get this stuff all flipped over. And basically, like with flipping stuff in the pan, like it's kind of like all about using the edge of the pan, because it's like kind of bringing everything up and over, and it's really just all about kind of getting it to run up that side, you know, and then like getting the pan like underneath of it. And it's really good, like if you practice with the heat off, and then like you just use the you use like something like you could use something in the pan just with it off that just kind of slides around in the pan easy. You could practice, if you're really concerned about it, but it's really not too hard as long as you're not afraid of it. But yeah, we're looking for some color like that's the color that we're looking on the sweet potatoes. So they're looking pretty nice, very nice. You missed the spaghetti. No, when we did salsa, I made some spaghetti. Well, how's your Wednesday going, Horna? Okay, that's looking pretty good. We're gonna go ahead and throw a bunch of onions in here. I really like onions, so we're almost gonna like put as much onions as I have sweet potatoes in there. Almost. Kind of like not like almost anything. Like I'm kind of using a whole shitload of onions. That onion's kind of not broken up, so I'll break it up. And we're gonna throw a little bit more salt and pepper in there, and a little bit more oil now. Where's my salt? I need it more readily accessible. Spaghetti with all toppings. No! Thank God I don't have to make spaghetti. We're going to get a little bit more oil in the pan here. I really hear it sizzling up. I'm going to get that vent on because it's going to be smoking just a little bit anyway. A nice Maillard reaction with those sweet potatoes. Exactly, Wax. Exactly. A Maillard reaction. Delicious. We're going to get some pepper on here. I'm going to like turn the pepper grinder to be like kind of a little bit more chunky kind of pepper. Chunky bits. Okay. Not a whole lot of that because we're going to be using this peppercorn medley grinder. Like I said, this is just like a little grinder you get from the store that has like red peppercorns, white peppercorns, black peppercorns, and it's got some like allspice in it and stuff. It's really delicious, and I really like kind of like if I had to use I say like brightens it up, like it makes it a lot like it kind of really rounds out the flavor. So we're going to crack some of that in there, and we're going to go ahead and throw in the sausage too. And then also we're going to be looking for happening here is for everything to get nice and dark, nice and brown. Not looking to burn everything. Do you boil the potatoes first? No, absolutely not. They don't need it. They do not need it. I wouldn't if I was using normal potatoes, I would just cook them in the pan longer as well. Like I wouldn't boil those ones first either. And remember, the sausage has a decent bit of grease as well, Robbie. Or not Robbie, but like everybody. Like remember, the sausage has a bit of grease as well. So by the time everything's done here, I might. Like the pan's looking a little bit dry, and like I said, I want to make sure the sweet potatoes are nice and soft. So I'm kind of looking for like a little bit of a sheen on the vegetables. So you played some CS, cool, Horna. Cool. Hope you did well. Gonna keep this stuff moving. Don't want to let it sit on one side, or else we're gonna end up burning it. What's Evu? I don't know what that is. I always thought Hash America was like the stuff you get in IHOP. Well, like hash browns is like if you take basically if you take like potatoes. If you take potatoes and you like run them through like a cheese grater, like that's like hash browns kind of a thing. No, it's not extra virgin olive oil. This is just, if you do this with extra virgin olive oil, like you're gonna burn it because I'm using a pretty high temperature here. It's peanut oil. Today is FTL day, so Lev, you're correct. So at 2 p.m. we'll be starting that. This is gonna be looking pretty good here. I got a bowl over here. Gonna be ready for it. I got my eggs, some butter. And I'm going to turn this heat down. I'm going to turn it way low, like down to 2, because we're going to be doing eggs in this same pan. And we do not want to do our eggs at high temperature, so there's plenty of leftover heat in the pan here. So you can see like everything's kind of starting to get a nice good bit of color on it. Everything's looking pretty darn nice in there. Alright, I'm going to go grab this bowl, and I'm going to grab a piece of paper towel. Yeah, we're in the cooking room in FTL. Alright, we're going to get this going in here. I'm going to get a spoon as well to help me get it in there. There we go. And in there. And then we're going to go ahead and get we're going to get some eggs, a couple of eggs going in the same pan. What's up, Kurza? How you doing today? So you can tell that's really nice and hot. And this is generally what I do for my breakfast. So we get this going, and then this is like really hot enough where I wouldn't want to be like eating it right away. So it gives me a couple of minutes to get these eggs ready. So I'm just going to wipe out the pan here just a little bit. And if I had my temperature on, like what I was doing that hash with, it'd be really easy to burn. Yep, we're still going to be doing FTL. It'd be really easy to burn the egg, but like I've got the heat turned way down here, and I'm just actually kind of waiting for this pan to like cool down just a little bit, because I don't want to burn. I don't want to like do the eggs too quick, like, because they're gonna. No wooden utensils triggered. I'm sorry, Old Moon. I'm not using, like, I'm not scraping the pan or anything, so yeah, I used a wooden spoon when I was actually doing some stirring in the pan, but thanks for the follows, guys, appreciate it. Alright, so the pan's going to be pretty cooled down here. Yeah, it's pretty good. And I'm still not even going to use I'm not even going to cook the eggs on the center of the pan where the heat is. I'm going to kind of cook them off to the one side over here. So what I'm going to need here is a little bit of butter, just like a little bit. I don't really, maybe, certainly not, like maybe like a teaspoon of butter, just like that much butter. No, like that much, not a whole lot. We're going to get that just over in the corner of the pan here. That actually might be just a tad bit too much butter, but alright, so I'm going to get that butter just a little bit over. I'm just going to use it to when I'm cooking my eggs here. So I'm going to get both these eggs right over in that butter there. And when you're cracking eggs, like, don't crack them on a corner, like crack them on a flat surface. What's up, Lucifel? How you doing today? So I'm just going to crack it here. It's kind of like a thing where you like kind of use like my two fingers, and I'm like going to crack it open like that. And like you can kind of pull it open. Just like that. Same thing with this one. That's a little practice to do it with one hand, but I don't know. I'm just kind of used to it now. And then these eggs are going to go on top of the hash, and we're going to do them kind of over medium. I have to move everything every time, Pandemonium. And I'm not like I had the butter under there, but I'm not seasoning these eggs. Okay, you don't season them while they're in the pan. It's just going to kind of make them look like shit. So definitely don't do that. Okay, so like I said, I don't even have these on the center part of the pan. I've got them kind of off to the side. And what we're going to be looking for here is like you know, like when you put an egg into the pan, the whites like really start to get white like really quick. But like kind of like around the yolk of the egg, like you kind of have this. This kind of clear, the kind of clear part, and we're like when we kind of jiggle them in the pan, like they kind of they still jiggle a lot. I'm not talking about the yolks. I'm talking about the stuff like right around the outside of it. So we're waiting for that to kind of start to harden up a little bit, and then they'll be ready to flip. I'm going to actually use that spoon and I kind of get this. Like I'm not scraping the pan, I'm just kind of getting that unstuck. I just want to make sure that it's going to be okay to flip whenever I actually get ready to flip it. Americans and cracking eggs with one hand. It's in like all the shitty cooking movies. Really? You've only seen it in America. I mean, I could use two hands, but I mean, it's like I get less shells in my eggs if I do it with one hand. I don't just do. Don't judge me, El Moon. Don't judge. But it's like if I put it up to the camera, like you can kind of see like this part like around the egg, like it's still kind of jiggly. So it's kind of getting there, but I don't know. For me, like make sure also that I like when I crack open the egg, like it gets it out of the way of the yolk. Because if you don't like crack it right, then like the edges of the shell are gonna like poke the yolk, and that's not very good. It's like a rite of passage becoming a cook or some shit. Oh, I don't know. Okay, so like this is starting to kind of get a little bit more firm here. It's actually kind of starting to stick to the pan just a little bit there, but so just like when we were doing the other stuff, when we were doing when we were making the hash part, it's just kind of using the edge of the pan to help us flip it here. And I kind of goofed up just a little bit, but that's all right. If I want to, I could try and kind of pull this up from underneath of the side, but I don't think I'm really gonna. If I can't get it in like one try, then I won't really even bother. Yeah, that's fine. It tightens it up a little bit anyway. So now, what we're going to be looking for, like you can see, like I don't have any like kind of, like everybody likes eggs a different way, but in general, like I don't like to see any like kind of dark spots in the eggs. Like I don't want them to be, you know, brown. Like I'm not looking for that in the eggs. Start again. Get them out of here. Whoa, sorry. But so what I'm going to be looking for now, I'm trying to make like we're doing them like over medium. And like if you're trying to tell like how you want it to be over medium, you can actually kind of like just kind of push on the yolks there, and basically when they start to like give you a little bit of resistance, then you're probably going to be ready to just pull them off of the pan, because they'll carry over cook, and they'll kind of finish out and like get it so that you have like a little bit, just like a little bit of the yolkiness in the middle. And I friggin' love the yolkiness. It's absolutely awesome. They're delicious chickens though. Exactly. Like there might be dead chickens, but I mean there's no other better way to do it. So I'm just kind of poking the yolks, just trying to see, just feeling for like when they kind of start to get a little bit more firm, then they're going to be ready to come out of the pan. I think that's probably going to be about ready. Get that fan. Yeah, that's definitely good. All right. So I'm going to get this right over top of this hash. There we go. And then poking the food. We're going to get a little bit of salt on top of that, and then just crack a little bit of pepper over top of that as well. Just a little bit. All right. That looks really good. So this is like one of my favorite breakfasts of like all time. Just a sweet potato. It's really nice. It's really filling, and with a couple of eggs as well. It's just really great. And like my favorite part is the yolk. So like when I get to cut open into the egg, and we get that nice yolk running over all the stuff, I'll even mix it in with the rest of the stuff. Like that is like freaking delicious. Like that is like my favorite part. So that's my it's not mine, but that's sweet potato hash with a couple of eggs on top of it. Just use again just salt, pepper, and I use like this peppercorn medley grinder with mixture of peppercorns and like a little allspice in it, and then you know, sweet potatoes, onions. And like I said, you can use like I use like whatever sauce that just happens to be on sale. I just happen to have some jalapeno cheddar ones that were around. Now we watch you eat in silence. No, I'm not going to eat it on stream. I'm just showing. Hope no vegans join the stream. Oh no. Still got a small sweet potato from last night's baking. I might just do hash this morning. Thanks, Billy. No problem, Kuno. My pleasure. This is like 2 stacks of dungeon food. Yeah, that might even be like four dungeon food. Oh, you mean like 2 full stacks? So like 24? Holy shit. Yeah, that very well could be, Rainbow. Eat it. I'm gonna eat it. Not right now, though. Don't worry. +2 health. I hope at least +2 health. But yeah, so yeah, I hope you guys like it. That was like a really simple thing, but it's like just something that I quite frequently will end up making for myself, like in the morning. And like I said, like I didn't even use, that was a small sweet potato, and I didn't even use the whole thing. Like I only used part of it. So it's like for like I'll like chop up several sweet potatoes, you know, and then I'll like have like container of sweet potato and the thing like 1 onion, and then I could just like for like several breakfasts, all I gotta do is just kind of throw it in the pan without even having to chop anything up, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, thanks for the follow, guys. Appreciate it. Really appreciate it, guys. So yeah, that's that. Not a really super complicated thing. Didn't really take a whole lot of time, but we're going to be back at 2 o'clock, 2 Eastern, so a little less than 2 hours for our standard FTL stream. And then I think we're going to probably play some City Skylines afterwards. So GG everybody. Hope you all had a good time. Nice little short cooking stream to get us through the Wednesday morning / afternoon. And as always, thanks for chilling with me. You know, whether you were lurking or chatting, I appreciate you guys hanging out. It's a nice little bonus stream for us today. And like I said, I'll be back in a couple hours. I got to break down all the stuff for the stream and get it set back up for the FTL stream. So, yep, we'll see you soon for FTL. So thanks again. We'll catch you later. See you in a couple hours. Have a good one, all right, guys. Bye-bye. Peace. Peace.